Hey writers, and anybody new to my channel, all like handful of people right now, which is fine. Thanks for you who put up with my inconsistentness. That noise you hear in the background is my daughter's dog, Shay. Say hi, Shay. Say hello. Say my name's Shay. I'm very shy. She likes to fetch rocks. We won't even discuss that. Here's the rock. She already took off. I might be doing that through this whole video. I actually was gonna do a live. I am painting a canvas right now. Shay, I'm not gonna be doing that the whole time, okay? I promise you. That's it. Yeah, one more throw, girl. I'm painting a canvas in the backyard, and I was just sitting here realizing how peaceful this is, minus the rock throwing, and how I hadn't felt this kind of peace in a really long time. It's like wild, you know. It's always someplace I have to be, or something I have to do, or like I do need to clean my house. I need to put my room together. I haven't even. I just recently got all the boxes out of my room and the luggage unpacked, and now I need to turn it into a real bedroom. Just been through so much. I think that I have not planted roots, but look, girl, I'm gonna make that rock disappear. I hope it gets mixed in with the rest. I haven't planted roots. I moved to a city that I didn't want to, but see, that's watch what you say. I told God a lot of things like, I'm not moving further than here. I don't want to go out here, thinking I'm confessing it when actually I was just putting it out there that, yeah, I want to move out to the valley, an hour away from my job. 48 minutes to be exact. But that's it. It's gone. I'm not throwing it no more. I guess I thought that I would confess that I didn't want to go that far, and I wouldn't, but I'm out here now, so I am enjoying the warmth of the sun and the ability to just kind of reflect. And while I'm sitting here painting, I was, somebody had asked me before about how I met my husband, ex-husband. Gotta get used to saying ex-husband because I don't talk about him. Literally, since I hadn't been doing any videos or anything, I have like totally pushed this whole relationship to the back of my brain and just been dealing with emotional stuff and trying to find my way in the world of singleness, you know, after almost 30 years of being married. So it is very new to me, very uncharted territory. And which is fine because in this time I really haven't been on many dates. Really I haven't. I can count on one hand. And we're at 2 years going on 3. So I've had a lot of things to take care of, so God knows. You might see the birds fly by because I made a bird feeder for the birds, and so I miss the hummingbirds and I miss the birds, and so they've been coming over here eating. Anyway, yeah, so I thought I'd kind of try and talk about it, but then last night I had like this crazy revelation, and I did like a crazy video in my bed, but it was, you will never see it. It will be deleted today. It was literally me realizing something. So I met Lion when I was dating my daughter Chelsea's father, and I'm not ashamed of it, but it will probably catch a lot of people off guard, but I don't really freaking care. I ain't perfect, never professed to be so, but in everything that I've done, I've learned something. I always figure if you do some stupid stuff or you make some mistakes, but you learn something from it, oh, it was freaking worth it. It was worth it. But I met my ex, Lion. Gosh, Lion is so, it's like calling him Lion, not in the sense, but in the lying sense. As time has gone on, the last like several months, and I've found out more and more stuff that I wasn't aware of or choose to have not been aware of. It has been unbelievable. So last night, so I met him. He said that I met him one day, my daughter's father, my second oldest daughter. Those that know me can figure out which kid I'm talking about. Had introduced me to Lion as his cousin. And he was married. He had a very pretty wife, and she was very nice. I met her probably a total of 2 times, and boy, I tell you, people keep patterns, don't they? I met her about 2 times, and I've never met Miss Canada that I know of. I may have met her. You'll find out who Miss Canada is. I may have met her, but somebody out there has met her. Yeah. So I met his first wife, and she was really sweet and nice. Matter of fact, we ran into each other one time going to the grocery store. We were going in, they were coming out. We were parked right next to each other. I introduced him to my cousin and him and his wife, and I was like, and they had his goddaughter, who was also his cousin, with him, and she was a little kid, and she was so cute and adorable, So anyway, time goes on, and I find out that I didn't know I was pregnant at the time. My soon-to-be baby daddy, I would find out about a couple weeks later, not that he was cheating on me, that I was the other woman. Isn't that wild? I was the other woman. I thought, at first I was like, you MFR, like you're cheating on me, and all this stuff. Like he was hanging out with a guy that was a friend of mine, and it was like a close circle of people that we knew, some of the same people, and even people I dated. Like he knew some of the people that I dated, and it was just ridiculous. And come to find out that I was the other woman, thanks to, I won't say his name because I don't want to put him on blast, but if it wasn't for that person dropping some hints and then leading me in a certain direction, I probably wouldn't have found out. I probably would have found out eventually, but I wouldn't have found out when I needed to find out. But I did find out that he was, that I was the other woman, and that there were other women besides me. So I wasn't the only other woman. There was lots of other women, because he loves taking pictures of naked women. Freaking true. Some things never change. Anyway, so and I found that out, and Lion was so consoling. And when I found out I was pregnant, first I was gonna like blow up his car, flatten his tire. He had a Carmen Kia, and I was gonna do some damage to that sucker. I was young, okay, but I was also extremely hurt. But Yeah, I was going to do some damage. I was going to do some damage. He ought to thank his so-called cousin, who ain't his cousin. Anyway, yeah, I was going to do some major damage. Somebody wasn't going to have no breaks. Let me just say that. I don't mind saying it now. I've been through it. I didn't do it, but yeah, that's where my mind was at that time. It's like, I could fix this real quick. I knew how to work on cars. My mom's ex had taught me how to work on cars. So I used to work on my own car. So I know what brake lines look like. So he's extremely lucky. Anyway, so Ashley, you guys will never meet. Yeah, so he, kind of talked me off the ledge with causing him bodily harm and exposing me to possibly sexually transmitted disease or, anything. Like, some chick could have came to my house. At the time, I had a daughter who was like 3 going on 4, and Shy was almost 4, yeah. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, what if somebody would have came to my house looking for your behind and would have caused harm? Like, it's just me and my daughter. Like, you are such an insensitive SOB. Like, how could you do that? What if you gave me something and then I'm sitting up here, who's gonna raise my kid? Because AIDS was really prevalent at that time. And before I had sex with people, then I would make them go get a test. I would get tested, and then, and then they would get tested, and then we'd share our results and stuff, right? Just to make sure we weren't exposing each other to anything. And plus, I had a daughter, and I was really, her safety and her well-being meant everything to me. So yeah, so when I found that out, I was really upset. I was really angry, real hurt. And so Mr. Lyon was the one that consoled me. And we used to talk. But what I forgot is, in my level of immaturity, I forgot I fed the devil all the answers that he needed to trap me. I forgot. Because he was my friend first. Because I even tried to fix him up with my cousin. Like, and if she sees this, she could attest to this story. So I wasn't talking to my daughter, my baby daddy of my second daughter, who was going to be my second daughter. And, well, okay, I'm going ahead. So anyway, I wasn't talking to him at all. Found out I was pregnant. Did a bunch of stuff I had no business doing, but Lyon consoled me and talked me off the ledge and all that crazy stuff. And so we became really good friends. I would not talk to my daughter's, the baby daddy. I would not speak to him. I was just, the fact that he endangered my life by having sex with other people and not protecting the fact that I was under the assumption that I was the only person he was sleeping with, and I was very immature to think that somebody like him. Anyway, gave it to God. Yeah, so I went through my pregnancy. He was my friend throughout my pregnancy. He was would call periodically. We would talk. We got, like, over this year, I don't know what was going on in his personal life. I'm thinking that this guy is married, but he's like, the go-between between me and the baby daddy. So I'm talking to him about all kind of stuff. Little do I know, I am giving the devil the answers to the test. I gave him everything he needed to trap me. So, pay attention to that. Let them talk. I think it is Steve Harvey that says, don't give them the information. Let them show that who they really are. And if you give them the answers to the test, then you just told them how to pass. And when they wind up in your bed and in your life, and 30 years later, you looking like, oh my God, you are not who I thought you were. Well, you gave him the answers to the test. And I did. I 100% gave him all the answers he needed to get me. So I'm thinking this man is sent by God. No, Satan's best friend. Satan's spawn. The spawn of Satan, basically. It's just sad. It's really sad. When I finish, you'll know why I call him that now. I'd never really called him that before, but now, since I now know what I know now, shame on you. Shame on you. Anyway, so yeah, as the time went on, we're talking about a whole pregnancy here. He was my friend throughout the entire pregnancy. I did not date when I was pregnant. I did not sleep with anybody, did not have any relations with anybody. I went out on maybe a couple of dates early on before I really knew I was pregnant. But once I found out I was pregnant, oh no, there was none of that. Then after I had my daughter, her biological father came by the hospital, me thinking that I would let him, because of Lion, let him come to the delivery. He acted a fool, threatened to not only harm me, but take me to court and take my child away. Made a big scene at the hospital where I had to have him removed. It was horrible. It was horrible. He waited until my family left and then started verbally assaulting me. It was just... Now imagine you're, in your early 20s. I just had a baby. Like, I just pushed this girl out. Maybe, not even an hour. They went to go see her in the nursery. That's how soon it is. Like, they were still doing all their stuff to her. My aunt, my mom, and my youngest, my oldest at the time, all went to go see the baby in the nursery, and this dude comes in there and literally goes off on me. I'm weak. I mean, physically weak, emotionally weak, psychologically weak, and he just laid into me like nobody's business. It was horrible. I was trapped. I was scared. I was alone. And like, I can feel it right now. It was just, like, my heart's pounding. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience. Like, physically having to, it was, and I've just given birth, so you're weak. I did it. My epidural had worn off way before she came. I was physically weak. I had pushed her out. It's crazy. So he got removed from the hospital. After that, I was done talking to him. I was like, we're done. We'll never speak again. And that was what cut us off. That's what cut me off from just connecting with him on any level. So again, I go back to the only person I'm talking to is Lion during this time. And so, mind you, during my pregnancy, we're talking. He's pep talking me. He's married throughout this time. He's giving me pep talks because I tried to, work things out with her father, and that wasn't working out. He was still just a big cheater and liar. So, we're friends throughout this. Basically, in my mind, we're friends. And I'm telling him, he's like, well, what kind of man are you looking for? And I'm just telling him, it's flapping off at the lips. And so by the time after I have my daughter, then he's Mr. Wonderful. And so I tried to fix him up with my cousin. He came for the 1-year-old birthday. My cousin was like, I don't need no man that opens doors for me, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I do, but okay. Anyway, eventually we wound up dating. And because he vomited back everything that I told him verbatim, I wasn't thinking. I was so desperate for somebody to love me. And I didn't even love myself enough to protect myself from this man. So we wind up together. We wind up getting married and getting pregnant. And we're planning a wedding. He asked me to marry him. He asked me to marry him actually in a card. All of a sudden my ovary hurts. In a card 3 months before he actually asked me. He was like, you leave this card on your dresser and don't open it until, it was either Valentine's Day or Mother's Day. I think it might have been Valentine's Day. And so it just sat up there and I didn't open it. I didn't think it had a proposal in it, but I thought maybe he had bought us a trip or something. Naive of me. Please. But yeah, those things got 20 minutes. I'm probably gonna have to make a part 2. Yeah, so we dated, and I'm celibate at this time. We're going on 2 years. Let's see, I was pregnant. So yeah, my pregnancy, and then my daughter's 1, and we didn't start dating until my daughter was like 1 and some months, and so 2 years of celibacy, and you know, thinking that this man is like amazing, and I'm telling everybody like he's this, he's that, but my parents are like, something is off. Ashley, are you sure? Are you sure? I'm like, remember I told you I wanted this? And he's this, and he goes to church, and he knows the word. He knows it even better than me, and you know I know it. Oh. Wolf in sheep's clothing. That's how I'm gonna end this video right now. Wolf in sheep's clothing. And then I will make a part 2. Before the sun goes down, I will make a part 2. Hopefully get this story done. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate all you writers. Sorry, I probably look a hot mess, but I don't really care. This is my hibernation time to reset a lot of things in my life. So thank you for hanging out with me. I hope part 1 wasn't boring, but interesting. And maybe you got a nugget. I hope you get a nugget of knowledge. All right, God bless. Hope you have a good day, afternoon, or evening. Bye. Love you. God bless.